Hi, everybody. My name is Livia. Are you hearing me or listen to me? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a PhD student in Federal University of Santa Catarina. It's in the south of Brazil. Have everyone went to Brazil? Have you ever gone there? No? Okay,
No.
It's a good country. So here I'm a visiting academic, and my supervisor is Professor Paul Bradshaw. So today I'll talk about my research, and I'd like this to be really a talk, so you can ask any questions at any moment, and we can. I don't have many answers because I am in the second year of my PhD, but we can discuss everything you want, okay? So the title of my thesis until now is Editorial Metrics in Online Journalism, Ethics and Professional Culture in Relationship with Active Audiences. We'll talk about these names after. So my goal is discover the influences of metrics, audience in online journalism, and I'm looking to the newsmaking, to the process of journalistic production. So in the end, I intend to propose the ideal metrics for online journalism, and my interesting is mainly in the qualitative indicators beside the quantitative one. So, okay, I think we can begin. All of us know that communication has changed a lot in the last years. So we changed from the one-to-all communication to into the all-to-all communication. It means a huge change because communication in internet is a conversation. It's a huge difference. So most authors, they realized it, and they are calling the internet audience as active audiences. So, for example, these two professors, they said, active audience appeals to our belief in the intelligence and autonomy of people. And Professor J. Rosen also said that they called the people formerly known as the audience. So I'm thinking about these changes and about how we are seeing this audience in internet. So, but in spite of these changes, I think journalistic industry still seems to look to the audience as an homogeneous mass. Okay, do you understand it? Because and this is how what Professor Anderson called of the culture of the click. And there he said, in effect, much of the discussion about comments concerned their ability to generate website hits. And Professor Tendok Jr., he's from a university in Singapore, he also said, in order to attract an audience no longer loyal to legacy news, journalism dances in a provocative manner, publishing stories about the widest celebrities, uploading adorable cat videos, highlighting salacious headlines, hoping to attract attention to increase traffic. For media critics, this is a low, almost Spartan stance for an institution that relies a lot on respect and reputation. For a few others, this is journalism trying to survive. So it's very difficult to understand this. And Frederick Phillips, his Monday Notes editor, he said that what we face today is a vast stream of replicated information packaged in myriads of slightly different ways, but sharing a common objective, collecting and retaining viewers at all costs. So, here is a very interesting example. I don't know if you've seen it. Washington Post broke this story about Donald Trump. He used money from his foundation into his own business. So it was a very relevant story. But in the same day, Angelina Jolie filed for divorce from Brad Pitt. So you can imagine what story had more attention. And I kind of frustrated by this dynamic. This journalist, Emma Holler, she's a freelancer from the New York Times. She tweeted this line, "Whoa, so this is why Angelina left." And she tweeted for Washington Post story. So someone from Twitter said that this is the first example of irresponsible clickbait. So I think it's a big challenge for us as journalists, because nowadays we have to discover how to attract the audience attention to those stories that really matter. And it's not easy. So in this context, I'm thinking about it. I argue, is the culture of the click a conceptual return to the era of mass communication? And here I try to explain it a little bit more. The understanding of an active audience also involves the identification of their dynamics. The same person can read an article about celebrities and another about blogs. To say that the audience only wants routine content is underestimate their critical and changeable capacity. So, because it's so easy to say that, oh, we publish it because the audience wants it. But I think we have to realize that we as journalists, we have to publish what the audience doesn't know that they need. So it's not what they desire. And another point in my research is about the concept of editorial metrics. So why I'm not calling it of audience metrics? Because I really think that when we say editorial metrics, we are dealing with a journalistic decision, not with just a reaction to audience clicks. So I think it's an important role of the journalists. Decide what the audience or wants or need to know. So this is from a research for Reuters Institute for Journalism Studies. And these two researchers, Cherubin and Nielsen, they mapped 3 levels of the use of metrics in the newsrooms. And the first one is rudimentary, generic, and editorial. So editorial is the most developed in the newsrooms. And they said that newsrooms should be data-informed and not data-driven. It has a big difference. And these are their conclusion about their research. Leading digital news organizations are developing distinct forms of editorial analytics tailored to help them pursue their particular goals. There is no one right way to do analytics or one set of tools that will give an organization everything it needs. It's not a magic. And the most sophisticated audience teams are fully aware that analytics are not perfect, and that we have to analyze data, and they are not perfect, they have intentions. So based on this research that I mentioned, and for about one research from Columbia Journalism University, and after interviews that I have done in many Brazilian newspapers, these 4, you probably don't know, Folha de São Paulo, Estadão, Zero Hora, and O Globo. I think we can have an overview about the use of metrics in these 9 newsrooms. So, here I have the information. We can begin with The Guardian. The Guardian is pioneer in the developing of a house-made analytics tool called Often. Chris Moran, audience editor, wants to create a culture of data in the newsroom. His team has 4 journalists and no data scientists. They have data scientists in another area, but not in this team. Financial Times has 10 people in the engagement and audience team. The editor, Rini Kaplan, wants to transform the newsroom culture from digital first into audience first. And they work in social media, engagement, data analytics, marketing, and SEO. BBC News. Eliman Child's team has 5 people, and their main challenge is putting data decision-making into the heart of an editorial culture of a large media organization deeply rooted in broadcast journalism. They use mainly Chartbeat. Do you know this tool? Is Chartbeat. Huffington Post team is multidisciplinary, includes data experts and product analysts. Every journalist in the newsroom has access to the analytics through a personalized monitor dashboard. It's another tool. And Chartbeat. They also use Gravity. The editor, Jackie Rowley, said that the challenge is combining real-time data with a deep analysis of specific subjects. At the New York Times, most of journalists don't have access to analytics. The challenge of the editor, Alex McCallum, is to let data inform decisions and think about the audience behavior. Now the Brazilian newspapers. At Folha de São Paulo, the audience team used the tools Monitor, Chartbeat, Outbrain, Naveg, and Comscore. At Zero Hora, they use Google Analytics, Kissmetrics, Chartbeat, and Comscore. Estado de São Paulo, they use the analytics tools are Adobe Analytics, Site ao Vivo, it's live website, Social Monitor, IVC Web, and Comscore. E o Globo newspapers uses Google Analytics, IVC, Comscore, Scoop, and Ipsos Tone. So Brazilian newspapers are using a lot of tools. I will do an ethnography there, so I will find and discover how they are using these tools. So beyond these tools, I'm also interested in the professional culture in my research. So Reuters and Tal Center's research, they discovered and they collected some really interesting testimonials from journalists of these newspapers. The first one from Gawker, he said, "I'm actually concerned by the extent to which my emotional well-being is dictated by the number of hits on my posts. I talked to my therapist about it." The other one from the New York Times. "I don't have a Chartbeat account, but I do like to look over the shoulder of the web producer that sits in front of me, who does. And he and I have great conversations about what the traffic means and what the traffic patterns are and where our traffic's coming from." And another one from Gawker, he's talking about the readers that comment news. And he said, "I hate them so much. I fucking hate them. I've always hated them. They are the worst." So this is professional culture. This is how journalists are seeing the audience. And how it's a complicated relationship in the routine. So Wolfgang Blau, he's from Condé Nast International. He's chief digital officer there. He asked us, "Now what?" And he said that journalism needs new metrics. And here he explained what is this now what. And he said, did our story make you research that topic further? Did you buy a book about it? Did you get politically active because of it? Did our journalism change your voting behavior? Did the story get discussed in your city council or national parliament? Did it inspire a documentary or movie production? Did it make you more hopeful, more concerned, more compassionate? Did it change your behavior as a consumer? These are all now what metrics. So this is what I'm interested in about the ideal, I don't know if we can call it this, but ideal metrics for journalism beyond the clicks. And this is a good example. It's from the New York Times. I don't know if you know this story. The New York Times wrote this story about the bad conditions of nail salons workers in New York. And this was a viral story, a very relevant story, and they had a lot of clicks. But beyond the clicks, the impact of this investigation was very big because the New York governor, he decided to propose a law to protect nail salons workers. So this is an example of impact of this kind of metrics. And so I think we should pay more attention on these metrics as impact and engagement, for example. And I'm finishing. Professor Anderson, he said that data is not the problem. So I'm not saying that we don't have to pay attention on data because they are really important. But it's the way we talk about data. The problem is rather the way we have come to uncritically count and value the importance of numbers, the expectations that we have of them, and the way our embrace of audience data under the rubric of democracy and empowerment often dismisses a blunt economic imperative. So that's it. It's a part of my research, so you can ask questions or suggestions or critiques. I'm ready for it. So thank you. It's my Twitter and my email.
I can let go of that lead now.